Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to you all. A guest speaker of today's webinar, BK Reenaben, members of the management, Principal Dr. Suresh Nair sir, Headmistress of the primary section, Justina ma'am, Dr. Vijeta Shetty, and my all dear friends. Welcoming you all once again for this unique webinar, Choosing Happiness, Finish Anxiety and Fear. Before I proceed further, may I request you all to rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
May I request our principal, Dr. Vijeta Shetty ma'am, to give her best wishes for today's webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, one and all. First of all, I would like to congratulate the IQAC team and the Department of Commerce for organizing this webinar session for all the faculty members and the invited guests who are present today. COVID-19 pandemic has put all our life out of gear. We have been living with anxiety, fear, anger, and this seems to be an order of the day. At this point of time, it is essential to be happy, enjoy life, no matter what. Because it is rightly said, for every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. And for understanding this deep sense of living, we have a very beautiful session by BK Reenaben, and I am on behalf of the entire college, I thank her for having accepted our invitation. Thank you, Reenaben, for accepting our invitation and being here. I'm sure after your session, we will feel much more better and definitely reach to enjoy our life. Thank you. Thank you, Manisha.
Thank you, ma'am. So, happiness, we are going to talk about happiness. It means a state of being happy. And what is happy? It means a feeling, showing pleasure or contentment. We would like to be happy. All of us, I'm sure, would like to be happy. But what is this happiness all about? Where is it? Is it within me? Or do I have to seek it from the outside world? Many such questions may be in our mind today. What is fear? What is anxiety? All this is all crowding our minds and really making us go deep and deep down ourselves. For all these questions, to get answers to these questions, today we are all assembled here for this a unique webinar, and none less than Reenaben, BK Reenaben is with us, the speaker for today's webinar. She is going to throw light on all these things that we have in our mind. Let me take the privilege to introduce Reenaben to all of you. BK Reena has done her MA in Psychology from Mumbai University, Diploma in Industrial Relations and Personal Management from Dr. Rajendra Prasad Institute of Communication and Management, Mumbai. She has recently done her MBA in Self-Management and Crisis Management from the Annamalai University. She is associated since 1998 with the Brahma Kumaris, an organization dedicated to the moral and spiritual upliftment of humanity. She has dedicated her life for godly services since the year 2003. At present, she is providing her services at Bangur Nagar Rajyog Center in Goregaon. Reenaben, a very warm welcome in this Vivek family. And
Thank
may I
you.
now request you to please guide us on the way of happiness, to the path of happiness. Over to you, Reenaben.
Thank you and welcome to you all, respected members of the management, principals, Principal Vijeta ji, Principal Professor Nair ji, and all the respected professors, and the Vivek Vidyalaya family. Today's topic is happiness. Choosing happiness. As you rightly said, there is no one in this world who would not like to be happy. All of us want to be happy. In fact, everything that we do in life is in a way striving towards that happiness. But the more we try to be happy, we feel that happiness is not quite within the reach. There are many things that come into the way of our happiness. But as you rightly asked, what is happiness? Maybe there's a lot of things that we can say about happiness. But the thing that I'd like to really point out is that happiness is not something that happens to us. It's not something that someone does to us. Happiness is a choice, which means we choose to be happy or we choose not to be happy. And I'm sure some of you may say, how is it that I choose to be unhappy? Definitely, all of us would choose to be happy. But in fact, whether we are happy or unhappy is a matter of our own choice. People in the same situation react very differently to the situations that are in front of them. Like the current COVID scenario. All of us worldwide, we are faced with this unknown, invisible, let us say, enemy or challenge or situation that is in front of us. And it has brought a huge impact into our lives, into the way we function on a daily basis. It's not just COVID virus that is the problem, but along with it, the kind of tremendous changes that it has brought, that is a big challenge in terms of how we live our lives. On one hand, many cities in the world, including Bombay, Mumbai, were cities that never slept, constantly on the move, constantly getting things done. And everything now has changed. Now the cities that never slept are quiet. We are slowly picking up. But what we've seen in the last 60, 70 days is something that none of us have seen in our lifetime. And at the same time, the kind of reactions that this COVID has brought about in our lives from different people. I can see people, some of them are scared, so scared that they are not willing to step out of their houses, which is fine. It is said that it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Yes, safety is is an important issue, but safety and fear, they are two completely different things. On the other hand, I've heard of people saying so many good things about this lockdown. So many people have said that we've done things that we were wanting to do, but we didn't have the time. So people learned new things. either through online courses or actually pursuing them in their own homes. People connected more with their families. I know one family where the daughter in the family said that in 27 years of her life, she's never spent the whole day with her father, who was constantly busy. And for the last 60, 70 days, she's seen her father for the whole day. And that was the first time in her life. So, yes, there are so many things that are positive and that are negative in a situation. It is what we choose to see and what we want to hold on to. Any crisis, any situation will bring out the best and the worst in people. So on one hand, there are people who bring out the best. They're looking at it in a way that, people feel that it's more of an opportunity than a problem. For many of us, those who are into spirituality and those who want to meditate, I've known people who have said that this lockdown has been like a blessing, and we've had the time to understand, to learn, to meditate like we have never had before. It's like we've been given an opportunity, a chance to do things that we only thought we wanted to, and at many times we are forced to. If there are relationships on a daily basis, if we were just uh, you know going on a surface level, just putting things under the carpet and moving along, and now suddenly you're forced to deal with them. And we see that when you deal with situations, when you look at situations, you can find solutions, and a very beautiful outcome can come out of it. So, as I said earlier, happiness is a choice. And our happiness is very often marred by what we feel is other people, circumstances, situations, but it is rather our own insecurities, our own perceptions, attitudes, our own fears. When we talk about fear, when we are in fear, it hampers our capacity to be happy, enthusiastic, and determined. It depletes our performance, and it brings along many health hazards as well. Any kind of fear will definitely bring in anxiety and doubt. Fear generally is something about the unknown. We don't know. And we generally tend to fear what we don't know. And that we have also built into our lives so unconsciously on an everyday basis that we feel that living without fear is something that cannot happen. We are fearful of so many things. We are fearful of people, situations, even fearful of leaving our own bodies, dying. And when we are in fear, that fear brings on an anxiety. And that anxiety, it will either hamper my performance or it will freeze my capacity to think and judge rightly. But friends, it is said that fear is nothing but false appearances that we feel is true, it's there. It's, fear is something that is not real, but it appears to be real. And generally, fear is something of the future. We hardly fear the past or the present. It's the fear of what will happen. It's an anticipation of what will happen. So we anticipate something, and emotionally it triggers such a reaction that whatever may happen in the future is a different thing, but it affects me right now directly. And it is this, the quality of being affected, that is a problem. We either get affected, influenced, distracted, attracted, and that hampers our ability to see that I have a choice, to make the right choice, to decide the path that will take me to happiness or the path that will take me to sorrow. I'm sure most of us know the path to happiness. It's not something that anybody has to teach us. We know what is happiness, right? We know that when I do this, I will be happy. When I do that, I will not be happy. But it's a dilemma, like Duryodhan's dilemma. He said, I know what is dharam, but I cannot follow it. And I know what is adharam, but I cannot abstain from it. So I feel that we know what is happiness and we want to be happy. We don't want to be living in fear and anxiety, but we get influenced. And being influenced is the thing that mars, that holds us back from living our life to the fullest. It reduces or it cancels out our capacity to live with more power, wisdom, peace, and happiness. For instance, if someone has said something negative, if I am influenced by their words, I will feel, and if I feel upset about their words, just the very fact that I'm upset, it kills my ability to understand. It kills my ability instantly to let go, to tolerate. So it is not the other person or the situation, but I get influenced by the quality of energy that I'm receiving to such an extent that I cannot give in my positive energy. I cannot use my positive power on other people, on the situation. So that is what gets into the way. And why does this happen? When things happen to us and someone says something negative, what do we say to ourselves? Sometimes we say, I just cannot tolerate it. Or I will not tolerate this from this person. Why should I tolerate? How much should I tolerate? When we say that, we're actually doubting our capacity to handle things, to tolerate, to solve problems. In fact, all of us have tremendous capacity to tolerate anything from anyone. And that is true. We have the capacity. We can. But the moment we get influenced by another, that moment we give up our power to look at people, to look at the problem, to look at the situation, to look at the circumstance in a positive light. Rather than solving a problem, we become a part of that problem. Situations, things happen on the outside. That is one thing. Yes, there is a pandemic. There is no denying. And it's a real threat to life. So many lives have been lost across the world. So many things have happened around it. Yes, it's true. But all of that is happening outside. But what is really happening inside our minds? That is very important. The biggest virus is not outside. The biggest virus is inside, of fear. Like a virus, if it gets into a computer system, that it will hamper the capacity of the computer to function well. In the same way, when there is the virus of fear, anxiety into our minds, it will hamper our capacity to function effectively. And where does this fear come from? From a spiritual point of view, I feel the fear comes because of not knowing. There's an old story where it said that, a person enters a room and there is something there that looks like a snake and the person gets scared. But another one comes in and lights a candle, lights a lamp, and person can see it's not a rope. It's not a snake, it's a rope. In darkness, even a rope feels like a snake. But the moment there is light, you can see that there was nothing to fear. It was just a rope. It's true for our lives also. When we have the right knowledge, when we understand things, the light of knowledge removes fear and we can see things very clearly. Our judgment is not clouded. When we are in the light of knowledge, we can take right judgment, right action, and in the light of knowledge, we can solve problems where situations are handled and our state of mind remains peaceful and stable. So it is, as I said earlier, fear is false expectations, false events appearing real. People also say that fear is like a paper tiger. So the tiger is fierce and fearful. But will you be afraid of a paper tiger? A tiger made out of paper? I'm sure you will not be. A more decent example would be like some animals, let's say a dog, a common dog on road. It may appear to be fierce and a person might feel afraid. But when you look the animal in the face, they generally don't bite. It's all bark and no bite. It's the same thing with our fears. And we look at the fear in the eye, we feel there is no power there. It's just empty. It's not as powerful as we thought. And in fact, we have more power than it. So yes, it's knowledge. It's the light of knowledge that is needed. And as I said earlier, what are we most fearful of? As I said earlier, when someone says something negative, I feel hurt. Someone criticizes, someone judges. So I sometimes am fearful of people's opinions, their judgments, because very often we also get into judging and criticizing externally and internally both. So we are afraid because we all want approval. We all want love from other people. But it's not just from other people, right? We want approval from our own selves. And our biggest critics are not outside. Our biggest critic is inside. We've developed this habit of criticizing our own selves, talking negatively to our own selves, putting our own selves down, doubting our own selves, and that creates a disturbance, which we may say is anxiety. Anxiety is a kind of pain. It's the pain from the false impression of being judged and not being loved. So, the biggest thing to overcome anxiety, to overcome fear, that we need to do is get the right understanding of our own selves. Let me take the initiative to understand myself, be with myself, talk positively to myself, encourage myself, because how I behave or how I interact with myself, the kind of thoughts that I create inside is the energy that my state of being is filled with. And whatever is inside will be what I'm giving out to other people. So if I'm critical, judgmental, be judgmental and critical towards other people. And so my relationships would also be full of misunderstandings, bitterness, conflict, because the energy that I'm giving out is the energy that I will receive. There are these very simple, basic laws that we need to follow in order to be living a happy life. And one of them is a very simple law is that you receive what you give out to other people. Sooner or later. It may not be immediate, but it could be immediate. It could also be something that you receive after a very long time. But it's a simple law. And the moment I understand this and use this in my life, the knowledge of that law helps me to move this. Actions that give me happiness. I can choose to fill myself, to fill my mind with happiness. It is true that a person is what he thinks. As you think, so shall you be. Our thoughts are like energy. Every thought has a positive or a negative energy. So the quality of my thought, the energy that I'm giving out is the energy that I'm going to receive from other people. The energy that I'm giving out is based on what I'm filling myself up with. मैं अंदर क्या भर रही हूँ? What am I putting inside? Is my mind filled with positive thoughts? Is my mind filled with love and peace and respect and harmony with other people? Or is my mind filled with negativity, fear, doubt, suspicion, comparison, jealousy? And the quality of my energy here, the thoughts, that is what I give out to other people. That is the vibration that I'm giving out to other people. And that is then what I ultimately end up receiving. So the way out is to be conscious of what we think. Because if I think negatively to other people, vibrations that I create will be of negativity. Though on the outside, I may be speaking very politely. On the outside, I may be behaving very well. But if inside, in my mind, I'm not in congruence with my actions, the vibrations reach out. It is said actions speak louder than words. It's true. But even actions and words have impact when it is followed up with the right intention, with the right thought. So the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, teaches us to be positive, to fill ourselves up with positive thoughts. Positive thoughts towards ourselves, towards other people, and towards the world in which we live. To have a right understanding of who I am, of people around me, of the world I live in, and right understanding of God the Supreme. I'll finish with a couple of things. From spiritual perspective, I'd say the right understanding is one when we talk about ourselves, to understand really who I am and what is the purpose of my life, what am I here for. When I am in congruence with that, the choice that I make is very clear. Who am I? I'm a spiritual being going through a physical existence. I'm a spiritual being in the physical existence going through a journey of life. The spirit gets trapped in conditions when the spirit falsely believes itself to be a physical entity. I am a spiritual being, a being of peace, a being of love, a being of wisdom, a being of power. And that is the truth. If you ask yourself, what is it that you need? What is it that you want from yourself? The answer is, I want peace, I want love, I want happiness. Why do I want this? Because that's what I am. And that's what life is. That's what we are here for. We are not here for fighting. We are not here for comparing. We are not here for criticizing and judging other people, but to live a happy and peaceful life. So yes, getting in touch with our own innate goodness is the way to happiness, is the way to be free from fear and anxiety. I remember a story I had heard about how to catch a monkey. It said catching a monkey is really easy. Just take a pot, or sometimes they use even coconuts, where they make a hole into that vessel large enough for a hand to go inside, but small enough for it to not come out if the hand is full with something. So they put something like they put some kurmura or chana into that vessel and wait for hide it in a way that only the opening is visible. And the monkeys, when they sense that there is something there, what they do is they try to grab onto that kurmura or chana that is there, and because their hands are full, they cannot come out. They cannot pull their hands out from that vessel, and the monkey gets trapped. We are also like that. If only we give up a few things, then it's easy for the hand to come out, for the monkey's hand to come out. It's in the same way, if we give up on some things, then it's very easy for us to come out of situations, come out of circumstances, and not be attached, not be entangled, not be so invested that we cannot move out of it. But the human tendency now has become of that of greed. We can't let go of things. Even if it's hurting us, we still can't let go. So when you have the right knowledge, I do have what I need right here. I can create what I need right here. I don't need it from outside. Then I can let go. The moment I let go, I'm free. I'm free of anything that can hold me back. Whether it is fear, whether it is worry, I can just be free. And lastly, when we are fearful, we want to hold on to something, someone. We often look up to God, and sometimes we blame, we complain, and sometimes we can connect and we can get the energy that we need from Him. But very often, our mind is so entangled that we cannot connect. We cannot take what we need from the Supreme, from God, from Ishwar, from Allah. But this is the time, especially when we need that help. We are not able to do it ourselves. We need the help, then power from higher up to help us to become more powerful so that we can face what is in front of us. And for that, we need silence to be with ourselves. Secondly, to get the right knowledge, to become more aware. As I said, look the fear in face. But for that, you need to be aware. You need to observe yourself. And for that, one needs silence. Sit with oneself in silence and just look inside positively. Third is to use the power of our mind and use the power of our minds in a positive way. Create positive affirmations for ourselves. Think positive thoughts. We often get messages from people, slogans and thought for the day and message for the day. They are very powerful when you read them. You feel nice, अच्छा लगता है, बहुत अच्छा message मिला. At that moment, it may even change the chain of your thought and take it to some other direction. But it can also be something that is so powerful that it changes not just that day, but your outlook to life. Thoughts have tremendous power. And taking the time to sit in silence and repeating some positive affirmations to yourself is a really helpful way to calm yourself down and to become more positive. For example, think to yourself, I am happy. I'm able to let go of my fear and my past failures. I embrace new learning. Every situation is an opportunity for me to learn, to understand, and to move forward. And I'm grateful for that. I'm happy and happily I embrace my past fears and failures. And happily I let go of my fears and failures. And I embrace new learnings, new understanding. It's an opportunity for me to grow. And I'm grateful for it. If I think this way, what will it do to my mind? It's immediately I feel at peace. I create positive energy within. And when I'm in a positive frame of mind, that is what I give out to other people. So, 5 minutes of your time in the day, in the morning, it's the best time to start the morning with a positive affirmation. If you can, you could either read them or repeat. But when you read, accept it. Acknowledge and accept for yourself. Yes, this is what I am. Secondly, Repeat it this time around with feeling and see what energy, what vibration that thought creates in you. And third is absorb that energy in yourself. Become it. And you will feel that you're free from fear, from anxiety. And that is happiness. So let's take a few minutes, sit in silence. Let us sit in a meditation and experiment. If you wish, your eyes open, close. Repeat for ourselves. Let's repeat a few positive affirmations for ourselves. I am peaceful. I accept. Sorry about that. I am peaceful. I am positive. I accept myself for who I am. I am full of many specialities. I am full of power. I have the power in me to face situations. I have the power in me to choose to be happy. I wish happiness for myself and for everyone around me. In fact, the whole world. I believe I'm a special soul. I'm the child of God the Almighty. And His blessings are always with me. With the strength and support from the Supreme, I feel confident. I feel I'm at ease. I'm at peace. Om Shanti. So with that, these are a few thoughts that I thought I would share and something that we could work on. So if you have any questions, if you want to add anything, it's now open to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Reenaben. My dear friends, do you have any questions? Please put it in the chat box or in the question answer session so that we can request Reenaben to answer them. Reenaben, there is a question.
Yes.
how to stop others' negative thoughts from getting to us.
How to stop others' negative thoughts from getting to us.
Yes.
How do we know what the other person is thinking? Are we assuming, or are we getting it from their behavior or from their words? How do you know what the other person is thinking? Do we assume what they're thinking, or do we guess it from their behavior or their words? Is what I would like to ask back. If we are assuming, then I don't think we need to change other person's thoughts from getting to us. We need to change how we think about what people think about us. That is the first part. If we are not assuming, and if we are deducting from their behavior and from their words, how do we protect ourselves from other people's negative words? I think if that is the question, there are always perspectives. Like, one is what someone thinks is their opinion, it's not a fact. So when we feel that it is a fact, then we get affected. And we feel it's an opinion. Everybody has a right to an opinion, and it's just that, an opinion. And opinions change. So they may be having this opinion for whatever reason at this point of time. It is their opinion, and it can change. When you think in that way, then it will not affect you. And in any case, you cannot get into someone's head and change their opinions. But you can get into your head and let it not affect you. Yes, it is their opinion. What matters to me is what I think about myself. What matters to me is how I talk to myself. Does that answer? And there is a question that I can see here is, what are the positive affirmations that we need to keep arising in our thoughts to bring about happiness and well-being to all? There are a couple of thoughts, couple of positive affirmations that you can have for yourself. And I think they are based on, as I said earlier, whatever it is that you wish to have in your life, anything positive, like happiness. So you can create a positive affirmations on happiness, that I am happy and I want for others to be happy also. That is a positive affirmation. And the valuable part in just the words, but one thing is to accept and acknowledge the words, to believe in them, feel them emotionally, and the energy that it carries to you. When you feel I am peace, when you say to yourself I am peaceful, just try it out. Try it out with yourself. I am a peaceful being. And with these 3 tips that I gave you, एक तो acknowledge करें, accept करें कि हाँ I am peaceful. फिर उस peace को आप feel करें, उस energy को आप feel करें, उसको absorb करें, और वो मैं हूँ उस स्वरूप में आ जाए. Then that creates wonders. Anything that you want to be, create an affirmation. But affirmations always have to be positive. It cannot be negative. So if it's for health, I can create an affirmation like, I am happy and I'm healthy. My immune system is powerful and I am able to remain healthy. It always has to be positively worded. I am healthy, I am happy, I have the capacity to fight. If it is virus, then you say coronavirus. I'm able to fight coronavirus, and I have an aura of protection around me of positivity, so it's not affecting me. So yes, there are a lot of these positive affirmations. You can find them. The important thing is not the exact word, or the important thing is whenever you see anything positive, try to absorb it into yourself. Acknowledge, accept, emotionalize, emotionally feel करे उसको, absorb करे अपने being में लाने की कोशिश करे. That's, I think, the key. Any other questions?
Hello.
I see a question here where someone has asked, if a person always speaks negative, how to change their negative thoughts? Negativity, एक बहुत बड़ा, it's like a habit that a person gets into. Nobody wants to talk negatively. Nobody wants to think negatively. For whatever reason, one feels one is not strong enough to speak positively and think positively. The best thing that I can do, if I am someone who's speaking negatively and thinking negatively, the best thing I can do is talk to myself positively. Like someone, if one of my friends or colleagues has a problem, and suppose they are facing an interview and they say that, I don't think I will be able to do it. मैं नहीं कर सकूंगा, I can't do it. Then what do we tell him or her? We say, नहीं, आप कर सकोगे. You have, you are qualified and you have so much capacity and you can do this. So we try to say many positive things to them. And we keep on doing it till the person accepts it or is okay with it. So हम अपने आप से भी ऐसे positively बात करें. Till the time that हम लोग अपने mental state को set कर सकें. When someone else talks negatively, you cannot directly influence. If you try to teach someone, I don't think that works. So आप क्या है कि आप अपनी intention जो है उनके प्रति वो positive रख सकते. You can keep a positive intention, positive feelings, and good wishes for the person. Our vibrations has the capacity to change the vibration of other people. Like you go to a temple, the vibrations in a temple or a place of worship is so peaceful, and the vibration has an impact on you. Nobody tells you to be peaceful, but you feel that peace because of the vibration. Similarly, if I have positive intention towards other people, positive thoughts, that will help them change their negativity. When we are faced with a biological phenomena, will spiritual preparedness be enough? When we are faced with a biological phenomena like COVID-19, spiritual preparedness is very important, in my opinion, because as I said earlier, biggest virus, you might find a cure for COVID-19, which some people are claiming that they found cures, but is there a cure for fear? And the virus may go away, but what about the fear and the anxiety? So biological, yes, there is a part for it, but also very important that even doctors acknowledge is that our own spiritual preparedness will help us to fight diseases. हमारी immune system जो है, that immune system is very, very strongly affected by our inner state of mind. So we need a person who is spiritually aware will take the necessary precautions to stay safe. A person who is spiritually prepared will not be dumb, will not be careless. In fact, a person who is spiritually prepared is in a state of mind to prepare themselves physically also. It has to be at both levels. You can't say I'm a peaceful soul and then go out without wearing a mask and, without washing your hands and not caring. No, that's not what it is. But when you're physically, spiritually conscious, you're creating positive thoughts around you, and you're also creating positive behaviors in yourself. So that is something that will protect you, definitely. Without it, it's very difficult. There are people, I would like to add to this, there are people who are old, and it's said that those who are old are very vulnerable, and there are people who are young, and what we see is even young people, 37, 42, 45, dying of COVID, and then we hear of people who are 90 and 99 and they are recovering. So what is the difference? I think it is the spiritual preparedness. So I think that answers your question, I hope. Is there anything else? I can't see any more questions here.
Pradeep, would you like to ask anything?
There's three most important for happiness in our life. I think it's kind of an incomplete question. Three most important for happiness in our life. So what are the three most important things for happiness in our life? What is your idea? In my opinion, happiness is a choice. So it's the right thinking, right decision that will help you to be happy at all times, and a right lifestyle. सही सोच, सही निर्णय कैपेसिटी, डिसीजन कैपेसिटी और सही लाइफस्टाइल वो काफी हेल्प करती है to be happy. And it is never dependent on anybody else. So it's not people, it's you, and then these inner things are most important. Some of the ideas that we've put across today, a lot of it has to do with spiritual knowledge, and I would like to take this opportunity to invite you on a spiritual journey if you wish, and we could talk about these spiritual aspects. It becomes more clear, and my own personal spiritual journey has helped me a lot in challenging situations, and especially this COVID period that is going on. There are some things we know nobody can teach you. We heard a doctor a few days back saying that we've never read about COVID in our textbooks. We're not prepared for things. But when you are always prepared internally, then you can be, you'll be able to handle completely things which you have never even thought of. So yeah, that has helped a lot in my spiritual journey has helped a lot in these challenging situations to remain calm, to remain peaceful, to remain happy. So I invite you to take this opportunity and get a little more into this spiritual knowledge, and I hope it will help you.
Hello.
Yes.
There's one more question from Professor Neelu Khosla.
Yes.
How can we develop the habit of keeping a check on one's anxiety? Could I repeat the question, ma'am?
Yes. No, I can read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep a check on one's anxiety, I think it's kind of a one principle that I believe in is that focus on what you want rather than what you want to avoid. Because anything that you give your energy to will grow. So if I give my energy to happiness, happiness will grow. And if I say that I don't want to be sad, the thought that I'm creating is of sadness. So my energy will go to sadness. So to keep a check on one's anxiety is to keep a check on always remaining happy. मुझे गलत नहीं सोचना है, वरी नहीं करना है, ऐसा नहीं सोचना है, लेकिन मुझे सही सोचना है, मुझे खुश रहना है. When we think in those terms, then automatically anxiety is taken care of. So develop a habit throughout the day, or at least in the morning, which is the first, the start. It is said कि अगर अच्छी शुरुआत होती है तो आधा काम हो जाता है. well begun is half work done. तो शुरुआत एक तो हमारी physical work ही होती है, but the other thing is mentally also to prepare ourselves for the day ahead. Do we wake up with a feeling of I have to do it or I want to do it? You know, that kind of a thing. So when I'm in with a lot of enthusiasm and zeal and determination, when I'm with a lot of positive energy, that's how I start my day. Then the day obviously will, that energy will have an impact on things that happen. They may be something surprising, negative, positive, whatever it is. But then a good start. So a good start in the day, spending some time for oneself, talking positively to oneself, especially in the morning and also at night before sleeping. जो भी रात की दिन भर की जो भी बातें रही हैं, everything that's happened, just finish it off at night. Let everything go and sleep like a baby. So the next day morning would be full of, you know, energy and happiness. Have to maintain happiness and emotional well-being at workplace. Well, workplace is two things. One is the work actually that we are assigned to, and the relationships that we have at our workplace. In terms of our work, it is our attitudes. When we have a positive attitude towards what we do, then there will be inner satisfaction. Like, as I said earlier, when you get up in the morning, what is the thought? Do I have to do it or do I want to do it? So, if I think in this way that, oh, it's a Monday and I have to go to college and I have to do this thing, then already I've put myself down. No? So when I put myself down, it's very difficult to be happy. So to be happy, my attitude towards work, the energy that I give into my work is what I will get even from my work. So whether I need to develop some skills, I need to learn things, I need that enthusiasm. Umang utsaah jisko hum kehte hain, tab aata hai when we have a positive attitude to what we are doing. तो उसके लिए आप सोचिए, yes, I have been given an opportunity. Not many people. There are so many people who want this opportunity, and I have this opportunity in front of me to do what I want to do, or to do what I have, you know, at this point of time in my life to do. It's an opportunity for me, and I'm blessed to have it. So I do it with a positive, with a good heart, with a full heart. That's one thing. The other thing is relationships. Relationships is also basically an exchange of energy. So when we have positive relationships at our workplace, it will lead to an environment of emotional well-being and happiness. So when we have mutual respect for people, when we look at other people, everybody has their own shortcomings and their own strengths. If I make my vision always to look at people's positivity, if I make my vision like a swan, you know, it's said that a swan will always pick pearls and not pebbles. So let me be like a swan. हंस की तरह बुद्धि हो, लोगों की विशेषताओं को देखें, न कि उनकी कमजोरियों को देखें. So when I have that kind of a vision, that kind of an attitude, I look only at the positive in other people, or I look at the positive in other people. I fill my mind also with positivity. I also remain positive, and I can have respect, understanding, a kind of let's say a bonding with other people. जिसको हम spiritual language में कहेंगे, it's a brotherly love that we have towards other people. So when we have that in relationships, then I think it's both the attitude towards work and relationships that will determine the quality of happiness and well-being at workplace. So I hope that is satisfactory.
Are there any more questions?
I don't see any more questions here in the forum.
Yes, Professor Manisha, go ahead.
No, are there any more questions? Ma'am, would you like to ask anything?
I'm happy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll go to the next.
Okay. Then can I request our IQAC coordinator, CA Shrikant Marathe, to please propose the vote of thanks. Over to Professor Shrikant Marathe.
Thank you, Manisha madam. It has been wonderful experience today. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, Shrikant, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. We are really, we are really lucky today to have Reenaben with us, who has guided us excellently in this situation of pandemic. The fact is that although there is a danger to the lives, and we are trying to restart the life due to the compelled scenario, still the spirituality only will guide us to fight against this danger that is around, and for helping us in that way, Reenaben has given great inputs to us. I am really thankful to Reenaben for giving so good thoughts to us, and increase the, to increase our spiritual power. I thank Principal Madam, who is always there to help us to progress and help us to be in positive mindset all the time. I'm thankful to Vivek Education Society management persons who are always there with us, and they are always driving us in right direction. I'm thankful to today's all my colleagues from teaching staff, from non-teaching staff as well. From other colleges also, a few professors have joined. I'm thankful to all of them. The participation has been excellent. It has exceeded 40 in number in total, and I'm really thankful to everybody. I'm also thankful to Manisha Madam to spearhead this entire activity of today's lecture. I am thankful to Mayur also, who has provided absolutely superb technical support. Thankful to Maya Madam also for handling question answer session nicely. And thanks to all of you for enjoying this session. I'm sure the inputs today will help us a long way to fight against the epidemic. Thanks to all of you. Thanks. Over to Manisha Madam.
Thank you, Shrikant. With this, we have come to the end of the session. But before we wind up, I would just like to inform everybody here that tomorrow again, we are having one session, especially for our students, and we are requesting our teachers also to join in. There's a session on e-world and cybercrime, which is jointly organized by the Commerce Department and the BBI Department. It is especially for the students. It will be taken up by Advocate Shailesh Srivastav. It will be from 11 to 12 o'clock. So I would request all the teachers also to please join in if possible. And then on 11th and 12th, we are having one more webinar on gender sensitization and legal implications, which is again jointly organized by IQAC and WDC. So these are the two webinars which are already in pipeline. So I'm just requesting all of you to please keep your dates blocked for this and please attend this. And now coming again towards the end, I again thank Reenaben for coming, for giving us so much guidelines on how to be happy. And Reenaben, I would tell you that we will wait for you to come to Vivek College, especially for our Raksha Bandhan. It is really,
I hope it's not an e-Raksha Bandhan this time.
but it is, we really look forward on that day to meet you. Yeah. So if God permits, we will have Raksha Bandhan if possible. Yeah. And we really like to listen to you on that day. and of course take the Rakhi from you, and of course that small sweet what you give us, and the card which is more important which you give, because that card really really correlates with our thoughts. I don't know how it happens, but really what we wish, it's written in that card. So
Yes.
Reenaben, thank you so much, and we really look forward to see you. And
It was a pleasure to interact with you, and thank you so much for inviting me in your family.
thank you so much. Principal Madam, can we
Yes.
stop here?
Yes, yes. Thank you once again from all of us. And thank you to all the participants. I'm sure all of us have enjoyed. Thank you.
Okay, so from IQAC and from the Commerce Department, we end this session. This is Manisha Naik, which is signing off. Thank you. Mayur, you can stop the meeting.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm ending the session.
Yeah.